Hello and what's up everybody. I know it has been a while, but we're going to do something a little bit different today before we actually go and do our placement matches. I'm very excited for this season. I've pulled a lot of funny toys and that's mainly why I want to make this video. I want to showcase my account and what is on here right now. Before we go over my island and my units and the runes, some of the runes, we can mainly take a look at the RTA rune builds. But these are my achievements so far. I haven't really been as active in the Special League as I wanted to, but maybe next time. These are the dungeon teams I run with, but I think there are enough channels out there that explain PvE very well, and I don't have to do that as well. These are the Rift Raid teams. I haven't really been farming these dungeons yet, only the Cliff of Tough Beastmen and the Forest of Roaring Beast. And these are not even the teams I'm farming with right now. But I can show you what I farm with after we go over the island and the units. So, this is the Summoning Island, where the magic happens. And where yesterday some more magic happened. And you've probably seen the thumbnail and I'm probably gonna put it in there, so you know what I'm talking about. The units come in here, get summoned, greeted by the dragon, go down to the training yard, then grab a snack here at the shops, maybe a 2-star monster to snack on. Back here is the tower. Then they walk down, check out the cool monsters that are on display and the new projects that are down here. Spoiler alert, I pulled this magic guy yesterday. And then they go here into storage or get upgraded. And back here are just elemental towers. Now that we're back here, we can nicely look at what kind of units I have. As you can see, I have a lot of stuff in storage. I mainly have projects and the stuff that I want to have on display in the inventory. You can pause the video at any time if you want to have a closer look at which units actually are there. But we're only going to have a look at the Nat 5s because I have all the Nat 4s and you can look at the Nat 4s in the monster collection. So these are all the Nat 5s in storage. Now, let's have a quick look at which teams I'm actually farming with right now. As you can see, standard Tricaro farming team right here. The Lucian. The Verdahill is not as strong as I want him to be yet, but this is my first iteration of this team and I built a second Verdahill just for this. Okay, so the Chaos dungeons are pretty standard. We have the Giants, Dots team, box standard. We have the Triple Ikaru for the Dragon. We have also Triple Ikaru with the Astar and the Lucian for Necro. And what do I farm with here right now? Yeah, Dots team as well. It just bursts through the shield, works every time. And for Punisher's Crypts, I just put in the Trikaru as well, targeting left and right tower first, and it kills the boss easily. Then the newly added Rift Raid. I farm with these teams. I just, on the day that they released this R5, I threw together some teams. And I think the only thing I changed is that I've put some runes on Lisa again. Just some random runes that I threw on her. And I think I changed the Ken. He used to be fast to strip, but now he's just like any other damage dealer. Just with some beefiness to survive R5. And the rest of the units just have been this way. Of course, Annabelle is a new addition. I also recently max skilled her and gave her a pretty damn good set. She's not that well ruined in RTA. But this team is very safe. It has a pretty fast average and it fails maybe like once a week. And I farm a lot. For the Dimension Hole, I farm Karzan with this team right now. If you want to see the runes, they're nothing special. She's on some leftover runes. I wanted to upgrade her ages ago. Probably gonna do it sometime soon. Then the Kamoon, he's not even on crit damage. He's just fast and tanky. He's there for the additional sustain and some additional damage. Then we have the front, a little bit tanky, a little bit fast. And the immunity and attack buff are just very nice for the Hua. And then we have a Bella. I also use her in Rift in front lines. That's why you see her on a little bit of random stuff. I just wanted the stats on her. If we go over to Alunia, my Alunia team is not ready yet. I still need to build some units. This team I'm going to be using, but as you can see I have not, the Orochi is not built yet. I was lucky enough to get the third skill skilled up, but I need some more ninjas. And then the Chasun also needs some skill ups. I at least want the cooldown for the heal. Then we go to the Cliff of the Hairy Tough Beastmen. I actually use Veramos, believe it or not. After his patch, Veramos is pretty useful here. Especially with the third wave of the boss. Yeah, just have him on some random shit. Yeah, just some random broken shit even. Just for a little bit speed and a little bit of stats. The Nemesis was also very useful. You've seen the front. Here's the Vigor, just on some random trash, leftover Swift runes. He's really not that good, but it works. And then we have the Jager. He's also on some random stuff. There's a lot of random shit that on my account like this. But it works. They have the stats that they need most of the time. And it's also good enough for siege most of the time. And then Kaldrun I have not even really looked at yet, because I have not built the Light Griffin yet. The Light Griffin seems to be the cheat code for this dungeon. So yeah, that is the surface showcase of my island. We're gonna have a look at my RTA rune builds for the season. And that's gonna be it for now. If you want to see more, tell me what you want to see. Let me know in the comments. Maybe you want to see me do some different content or whatever. Whatever you want to see, let me know in the comments below. Now, this is the box for this season, and here you go. This is the toy that I've got yesterday, and also the motivation boost that I've got for this season. One of the many motivation boosts. I also pulled the Ciara. I pulled the Annabelle, and I skilled her up. The Annabelle is fully skilled up right now, as well as the Ciara. But the thing is, because I pulled this guy yesterday, he has no skill ups yet. Well, he has one skill up. And the Leo is also new, and he has no skill ups as well. These are, Dragon Knights are the only units that have ruined right now in this box that are not skilled up. There are some other things that I've pulled and also need skilling up. Well, these are older already, but still, they are projects that I need to do for my RTA box. The Perna not so much, but the Jogun, the Belenus and the Diana, very much. Very much so. Especially the Jogun and the Diana. These are the most crucial additions to my RTA box. Now, let's go over the builds. This is the Sion. This is all the accuracy he needs. It's even 1% over the threshold that he needs. He's just on a standard Fatal Will set. I'm gonna just quickly go through the runes. I don't wanna stay on each rune for ages. You can pause the video at any time. But if I stay on each rune, it's gonna take way too long. Here we go with the Busa. He's not that fast. He's just on Swift Energy even. It's just on some leftover kind of fast runes, kind of tanky runes. This is just a legendary that I still need to re-app. And yeah, nothing really that special. I don't use him that often either. Then we have a Josephine, just in case I run into someone that steals away the Okeanos and doesn't have a defense breaker in his comp. Josephine is a very nice counter unit, very nice counter pick. She's on a Violent Blade set. I know, it's better to have her on Will, but my runes are spread really thin right now. Then we have another immunity option, and don't judge me for the build that I've put on her, but as I said, my runes are spread really thin and I just had to put on her what I had to put on her, okay? It works. When I pick her, it always works. Then we have the Belial. My standard counter for any Artamiel comp pick. Any kind of comp that just sits there and heals itself and slowly pokes you down. This is my pick. I just nuked them as you saw in the Special League video. Then we have the Hey Gang. I have them pretty fast because this is a very good pick if you want to outspeed and you are scared that your opponent outspeeds you. Because most of the time they're gonna start with a strip, and with him you have a very good chance to cut in and take your turn. Then we have the Moor. I'm not really as fond of him anymore, just because of the nerf. His strip was already not that good, and now it's even worse. So I still need to test if the speed tuning between these two is good enough, because I want the Hey Gang to move first. Here's the Samoth. He has not really changed. He's still on Fatal Will, just on some standard runes. Then we have the Annabelle, the new OG. And as you can see, she doesn't have as of a good set as she has in normally. Here's the Rocky. She got a hard downgrade twice. I moved her sets on the Oberon, the set that she used to have, and then I switched some stuff around. So she's not that good as she used to be, but I don't pick her as often anymore as well, because I use a lot of skill resets, so Rocky is not that useful all the time. Rika, my Bae, my favorite monster. I know she needs more resistance. Yeah, she doesn't have any resistance. It should look like with Annabelle, but it's hard to get all the stats on her. She's on Despair, of course. Rika needs to be on Despair. It's just a must. It's too good. Then we have the Vertihill. He's a little bit of a tricky one. He is on Will Double Revenge. I want him to look like he's on Will Violence, but in fact he's still on Double Revenge, and it works out pretty good, I have to say. Then we have Atesa. He's also downgraded for like the second time now, because I needed better, faster runes for other units. I think some of his Will runes even landed on Jager. Then we have the Sekhmet. You know, some people are gonna ask, why do you have the Sekhmet rune? But I don't know if you saw the stats on the Tesarion. But she's just really good in a reset comp, in a skill reset comp. And she also has AoE defense break. Although she never lands it, she still has it. And sometimes it lands and it can be very useful. I don't know why she can't land defense breaks. It's baffling. On the topic of debuffs, here's the Juno. Also on Despair, of course, and not on Will. Just on some random leftover, well, not leftover runes. My Despair runes are not that fast in general. Then we have the Meiho Wang, my old Jager, so to speak. He's on the weaker vampire set. I also didn't give him Will. Maybe I should give him Will, but he worked most of the time when I picked him, so I'm fine with him being like this. Then we have a new unit, also a new addition to the box, the Kaki. I have him on a little bit low attack, but I want to try him out like this. He's also max skilled. He's on Energy Vampire. I apologize. As I said, my runes are spread really thin right now, and I didn't have another Will set with juicy stats to spare. Then we have the Okeanos. Very strong unit in my draft. Also part of the reset comp. Also on Swift Will. I have a lot of mediocre Swift runes, but nothing really fast. It's funny, my fastest runes are Violence and Will, as you can see. Then we have the Shimite. I don't really pick him anymore, but I still want to have him runed as another speed lead, because I didn't have the Ciara previously, so he was my other option for the speed lead and AoE damage. I use him rarely, and when I use him I win, because it's just a very strong unit. If you have AoE defense break, a good setup, and your opponent is CC'd and cooldowned and everything, you just go in AoE and kill them. Then we have the Ganymede, the bread and butter, the center of every control comp. We have him on Violent Will. He's on the fastest Violent set that I have, but not really on the fastest Will runes that I have. As you can see, this is still absolute trash. It is a legendary that I still need to re-have. The Tyrannus. I don't use him as often anymore, but he's making a comeback in my draft. I was very hyped when I summoned him. I love this Reviver unit, and I've put him on a decent Violence will set. And I mostly pick him as a damage dealer. A lot of people think that how I draft him is more of a sustain, but I actually pick him as a damage dealer because he does very good damage with his second skill. Then we have the Chunky Punky. Also a very nice addition to my draft. Ist der sogar schneller? And I think I mixed up the sets. Yes, I mixed up the sets. I need to switch the Swift set from Chunk Punk to Hey Gang. Yeah, that's why. Yeah, that's what I thought. Yeah. Now the speed tuning makes sense. Okay, good, I made this video. Now I saw the mistake. Okay, these are the runes that should be on the Hey Gang. Yes, I need to switch these runes around. But it's also a Swift will set, so it's not really a biggie, and it's not fully grinded as well. It's not really finished. Also not really 2 good runes. Now, a new addition to my draft, another speed lead. I'm so happy about it. I got a Ciara. And I also am happy about it because I now have an arena offense with my Liebly. It's so nice. I put her on a Violent Will set, surprise surprise. It's RTA baby, you're gonna play with Violent Will. That's also why I'm farming with Trikaru now. It's pretty new. For me at least, on my account. Then we have the Leo. I know, it's inefficient, he has 17 speed, it hurts my soul as well. But I put as good runes on him as I could. It's Nemesis and Vampire. Some people like to put him on Violence, and I am experimenting with that. His normal rune build is actually on Violence. Then we have the Iris, you know that I have this time. I have this thing since a long time. It was one of my first LD4s ever. It's on Despair and Will. As you can see, not fully grinded, not finished. It's just the speed grinds won't really drop. I farm a lot, but the speed grinds, they take a while to drop, man. Then we have the Valeria. Just a random pocket pick if I play with the Belial, but now I have the Annabelle to also accompany with a little bit of heal. She is on Will double Nemesis. I know this is a little bit unorthodox, but runes are spread thin and I needed something viable on her. Then we have the Oberon, my first LD toy that I've just gotten a few weeks, maybe months ago. I've put him on the Rage set that Rocky was on, also not fully grinded yet, and not the most efficient runes, but it works for now. He works very well, he does a lot of damage, and I love the fact that he has the same second skill as Ganymede and this one-shot move. And another attack lead for my comp. Last but not least, the Jager, my new toy. I put the best runes on him that I could from the set that I wanted. I want to try him on Will Vampire. Maybe I will switch him on Violence, we will see, but for now I want to try him on Vampire. Maybe I will also switch out the HP rune for another attack rune, but time will tell. Also, these are the artifacts on him. Sorry for not showing the artifacts in all the other units, but it would take even longer. Now, if you're interested, the Leo on his normal runes. These are his normal runes in also 16 speed, very inefficient, I know. And here I have him on Violent Nemesis, just to try it out for Guild Siege and stuff like that. But yeah, I think that is it for the first impression. If you want to see more from my islands, from my accounts, let me know. If you want a whole video just going through all the runes that I have, I can do that, but I don't know how many people want to see that. Anyway, if you want to see anything else on my account, please let me know down below in the comments. And I'm gonna make a video now about my placement matches. See you next time.